Welcome to English Conversation Café. Learn English through natural conversations.
Okay, so I have to tell you about my friend. Let's call her Sarah, because her name is Sarah.
Okay, Sarah.
So Sarah is one of those people who, on paper, has everything together. Good job, nice apartment, goes to the gym, has a social life. You know the type.
She sounds like a LinkedIn profile.
She literally is a LinkedIn profile. But about a year ago, I started noticing something. Every time I talked to her, she was just fine. Not happy, not sad, just fine.
That's actually a red flag, isn't it? Fine.
The worst word. And she was doing the exact same things every single day. Wake up, coffee, work, scroll her phone, sleep. Wake up, coffee, work, scroll, sleep. Like a very polite robot.
Did she ever say anything about how she was feeling?
That's the thing. She didn't even have the words for it. She just kept saying, I don't know, I'm just kind of lost. And I genuinely didn't know what to say back.
A lot of people feel exactly like that, and they can't explain it, not even to themselves.
It really stuck with me. Like, what does it actually mean to feel lost? Not physically lost, emotionally lost.
That is exactly what we're talking about today. Welcome to English Conversation Café. I'm Max.
And I'm Haley. And today we are getting into something real, that quiet, uncomfortable feeling of being lost in life. It happens to everyone, and most people never talk about it.
By the end of this episode, you're going to know 6 natural English expressions for talking about this feeling. Expressions that native speakers actually use in real conversations.
Not textbook English, real English, the kind you hear from a friend over coffee.
Like right now.
Exactly like right now. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Hit the like button, subscribe, and come back every week for more real English conversation. We are so happy you're here.
Okay, let's get into it.
So after Sarah said that, I just feel kind of lost. I kept thinking about it for days. Because she wasn't in a bad situation. Nothing dramatic had happened. No big loss, no big failure.
And that's actually one of the most important things about this feeling. It doesn't always come from something bad. Sometimes everything looks completely fine from the outside.
But something feels off on the inside.
Exactly. Something feels off. That's a really useful English expression, actually. It means things seem okay on the surface, but something just doesn't feel right. Like a small alarm going off somewhere quiet.
And the tricky part is, it's easy to ignore it. Because nothing is technically wrong. Nobody is going to take you seriously if you say, my life is fine, but I feel weird about it.
So you keep going. You keep doing your job, seeing your friends, answering emails.
But you're not really there.
You're just going through the motions.
Oh, say that again?
Going through the motions. It means you're doing all the right things, showing up, doing the tasks, saying the right words, but without any real feeling behind it. Like an actor who forgot why they loved acting.
That is such a good way to describe it. And I think a lot of people live like that for much longer than they realize.
Including people who look like they have everything together.
Including Sarah. For almost a whole year.
And I think the hardest part is, people can't explain why. They try to talk about it and someone says, but your life looks good. And they think, I know. So why do I feel this way?
Which makes you feel guilty on top of feeling lost.
Exactly. And that guilt keeps people quiet, which means they stay stuck longer than they need to. I think one of the reasons people stay stuck in that feeling is they start listening to the wrong voices.
What do you mean?
We're surrounded by so much noise. Social media, other people's expectations, what we think we're supposed to want. And after a while, it's really hard to hear your own voice underneath all of that.
Oh, 100%. Sarah told me she spent years doing things because she thought she was supposed to. The right job, the right routine, the right plan. She never stopped to ask, is this actually what I want?
And that's when you lose your inner compass.
Your inner compass. Okay, explain that.
Your inner compass is like your internal GPS, that quiet part of you that knows what actually matters to you, what feels right, what feels wrong, what kind of life actually fits who you are. When life gets loud and busy, you lose the signal.
And then you just drift. You keep moving, but there's no real direction. Things happen to you instead of you choosing them.
Exactly. And the scary part is, it sneaks up on you. Over months, over years, you don't notice until one day you stop and think, how did I get here?
Which is exactly what happened to Sarah. She woke up one morning, looked around her apartment, and thought, is this it? Is this really my life?
That moment is actually really important. When you finally stop and look honestly at your life, that's the beginning of something.
My problem is, I ignore that feeling for a really long time.
Most people do. It's easier to stay busy, keep the noise up. That way you don't have to hear the question underneath everything.
What question?
Is this really the life I want? That's the one most people are running from.
Yeah, that one is loud when it finally gets through.
So loud. And that's when you need to take stock of things.
Take stock of things?
Take stock of something. It means to pause and honestly assess where you are. Not where you plan to be, not where you think you should be, but where you actually are right now.
I like that. It sounds like doing an inventory. Like, let me count what's actually in here.
Exactly. An honest inventory. And it can feel uncomfortable because sometimes the answer is, this isn't where I want to be. And admitting that is hard.
But isn't admitting it also kind of a relief? Like, you finally stop pretending.
Yes. Because when you stop pretending, you can actually start moving. You can't fix something you refuse to look at.
And that's when you realize you're at a crossroads,
At a crossroads, like a fork in the road.
where you have to actually choose which way to go.
Exactly. You can't keep going on autopilot. The road has split. And staying still is also a choice. It's just usually not the one you want to make.
That sounds terrifying.
Usually more terrifying than exciting at first.
Much more terrifying first. But maybe that discomfort is telling you something.
It always is. Discomfort is information.
Okay, I feel like we need to lighten this up a little because things are getting deep over here.
Just slightly.
So let's do a role play. I want to show something really true about this feeling that I think every person who has ever felt lost will recognize immediately. I'm going to be the person who is lost. Max, you're the helpful, well-meaning friend.
Oh, I was born for this role.
We'll see. Go.
Hey, you seem a little off lately. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you sure? You seem like something's on your mind.
I said I'm fine.
Okay. You know what always helps me? Go for a walk. Fresh air, a little movement. Seriously, it works every time.
It's raining.
All right. What about calling a friend? Someone you trust. Just talk it out.
My phone is almost dead.
Plug it in.
The charger is in the other room.
Haley, that is 3 steps away.
It's a long room.
Okay. What about writing things down? Just get it out of your head and onto paper.
I lost my pen.
You lost your pen.
I lost it.
You have a phone, which, yes, needs charging, but surely you have a notes app.
I don't know how to use it.
You use it every day.
New information.
I completely give up.
Okay, but that was so real though. That is exactly what it's like. When you feel lost, every solution, even a tiny one, feels impossible.
And it's not that the advice is wrong. It's that you're not ready to hear it yet.
Which is such an important thing to understand. You can't force yourself or someone else out of this feeling. You have to get to the point where you're actually ready to move.
And very often, The first real step is just saying it, out loud, to another person. I feel lost right now. That's it.
Just saying it.
Just saying it. Because when you name it, it stops being this big, shapeless thing in your chest, and it becomes just a thing you're dealing with.
Okay, so let's talk about what actually helps, because I don't want to leave people sitting in the fog.
Right. And I want to be honest, there's no magic answer. But there are small, real things that genuinely work.
Like what?
First, stop pretending you're fine when you're not. Have an honest conversation with someone you trust, a friend, a family member. When you stop carrying it alone, it immediately feels smaller.
Sarah did this, actually. She finally told me the full truth of what she was going through. And she said just saying it out loud made it feel less like a crisis.
Because when something lives only in your head, it gets bigger every day. When you say it out loud, it becomes just a thing you're dealing with.
A thing. Not the end of the world.
Exactly. The second thing, forget big life changes for now. When you feel lost, the idea of a huge decision is completely overwhelming. So instead, find one small thing that still feels true to you.
Like, what kind of thing?
A hobby you dropped, a friend you stopped calling. Something that used to make you feel like yourself that quietly got pushed to the side.
Because when everything else feels foggy, you just need one clear signal. Your inner compass again.
Exactly. One signal is enough. You don't need the whole map yet.
I think comparison makes it so much harder too. You see other people online who seem to have it all figured out and you think, why can't I be like that?
Oh, this is huge. And the truth is, most of those people are also figuring things out. They're just not posting about the hard parts.
Nobody posts day 3 of lying on the couch wondering what I'm doing with my life.
Shockingly few of those.
And the third thing?
Give yourself permission to figure things out slowly. You don't need the answer today. Feeling lost doesn't mean you're broken. It usually means something real is changing. And change is uncomfortable before it gets better.
That one is the hardest. There's so much pressure, especially when you're young, to have a plan. Everyone wants to know, where are you going? What's your next step?
And sometimes the most honest answer is, I don't know yet. And that is a completely valid answer.
I really wish someone had told me that earlier, honestly.
What I find most interesting about Sarah's story is, she wasn't lost because something went wrong. She was lost because something more honest was trying to come through.
And it did. She changed direction about 6 months later. Completely different path. And now she seems genuinely happy. Not LinkedIn happy. Real happy.
That is the most important distinction I have heard all year.
LinkedIn happy versus real happy. That is a whole other episode.
Write that down.
I would, but I lost my pen.
Of course you did. Okay, before we get to the Café Rewind, we want to hear from you.
Have you ever felt lost in life? And what is one thing, even a small thing, that helped you move forward?
Tell us in the comments. We read every single one. And your answer might be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now.
Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can hear is just, me too.
Okay, time for the Café Rewind. We slow down and look at the 6 expressions from today. And these are genuinely useful because talking about your feelings in English, in a natural way, is actually one of the harder things to do.
6 expressions. Let's go.
Number 1, something feels off.
Something feels off. Use this when things seem okay on the surface but don't feel right inside. Like, I've been fine all week, but I don't know. Something just feels off.
Number 2, go through the motions.
Go through the motions. You're doing all the actions, showing up, doing the tasks, but without any real feeling or energy behind them. Like, he wasn't enjoying the job anymore. He was just going through the motions.
Number 3, inner compass.
Your inner compass. Your internal sense of what feels right for you. Your values, your instincts. Like, when life got really busy, she lost her inner compass and stopped trusting herself.
Number 4. Take stock of something.
Take stock of something. To pause and honestly look at your situation. Like, after a really hard year, I finally took stock of my life and decided what actually mattered to me.
Number 5. At a crossroads.
At a crossroads. The moment where you have to make an important decision. The road has split and you have to choose. Like, he'd been unhappy for 2 years. He was finally at a crossroads.
Number 6. Figure things out.
Figure things out. To slowly find answers and clarity, usually over time. Like, I don't have it all worked out yet, but I'm starting to figure things out.
6 expressions. All natural, all real, all useful.
And now when someone asks how you're doing, you have so many better options than, I'm fine.
So many better options. All right, before we go, if anything we talked about today hit home for you, that's okay. It hits home for us too sometimes.
Feeling lost is not a sign that you're doing life wrong. It might actually be a sign that you're about to do it better.
And if you're right in the middle of that feeling right now, you are not alone. More people than you think are sitting with that same quiet uncertainty.
And hey, you showed up today. You're here, learning English, trying. That already counts for something.
It counts for a lot.
And if you are not subscribed yet, come on, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and we will see you right back here next week for another real conversation.
We'll see you at the cafe.
Bye!
Bye.
Thank you for listening. We hope today's conversation helped you understand real English better. Subscribe and join us for the next episode.